the Axe Bar in downtown Reno. It's the Reno Axe Bar. We're throwing axes and we're having some fun tonight. Yeah. We're going to kick it off with a great episode of our Foodie Philosophy. It is pizza with a cause. Smiling Hope Pizza, it is the #1 pizza in America. It's right here in Northern Nevada. You're going to love meeting Walt.
Walt is a great guy, and so is Grant Denton. You might have heard of him. He started the Karma Box Project. He feeds the hungry and a whole lot more, and he's a wonderful man. You're going to love him.
We're also going to be doing some more drinks with friends. We're hopping on the Reno Brew Bike, and we have Reno's very own Mayor Hillary Schieve hanging out with us for a little ride around town.
And our local artist this week, it's Robb Russo and the Asphalt Socialites. It's rock and roll, it's an original song, and a great video. You're just gonna love that too.
All right, here we go. It's the Reno Axe Bar with Connie and Dave.
Yeah, baby.
Really? Seriously? Shaker with a big heart. It is Grant Denton. He is the founder of the Karma Box Project. We're down here at the Believe sign. Grant, you know how much I adore you. You have really started a community of people, of givers. Like, you have this idea. Hey, you know what? Let's do something good for the community. Tell us how you came up with the Karma Box.
I was working at the Life Change Center, which is a methadone clinic, and we wanted to get the clients out engaged in the community. Part of recovery isn't just not doing drugs, it's actually reinventing yourself and then giving back to the community. We wanted to find a way that folks could give back easily. And so we built boxes and we designed them to where you could put non-perishable foods and hygiene items in them.
Awesome. Now, just to make it clear, he's not some outsider who saw a problem, came in and tried to solve it from the inside. You were there. You had these issues yourself.
Well, yeah, and that was, so I spent 9 years addicted to heroin and meth, and 3 of those were homeless. And through the course of trying to get clean, a lot of drug addiction has very little to do with drugs and everything to do with who we are and reinventing ourselves and becoming a new person and learning how to adjust our maladaptive response to the world around us. And so, like, what we needed to do is, what I needed to do is learn how to give back to the community and learn how to step outside of myself. And so what helped me, I thought, could help other folks. And it did, yeah.
Well, and I always refer to you as like the recovery whisperer because you have this knack of really connecting with those that seem unconnected to or unable to connect. But you also have brought a community to understand what people who may be homeless or dealing with mental health issues or addiction, what it's behind that. It's a mask. Their addiction is a mask. The Karma Box is a great way for us, many of us in the community who don't know how to provide the solutions, coming up here and giving to a box like this makes us feel connected, like we're doing our part in our community.
Yeah, and that's a big deal. Is like that it's not just about us. When I was moving through my addiction, when I was in a bad place, like everybody connected me was affected. My mom, the community, like everybody, we're all connected. So if one of us is doing bad, we all kind of feel that. So it's important that we like do the best we can to help each other.
Let's talk about what they are.
Yeah.
The Karma Box, exactly what is it, and how many are there, where are they?
So they started out as, we started building little library boxes and putting them up places. And instead of books, we put non-perishable food, hygiene items in it. And the idea was that we just build a couple of them, put them places, and we fill it. But what we found is that the community kind of took over. People want to do stuff, they just need a platform to do it in. So we put a few in a few different places, Carson City, Reno, and then Reno just stepped up and took over, and so did Carson City. Actually, Northern Nevada you want to do things, and so they started up with building their own boxes, painting their own boxes, filling the boxes, and we got about 40 in Northern Nevada right now.
I'll tell you what, our show is Love Reno, and what I love about the Karma Box is you are creating love within our community. You're letting people give back in a way that makes them feel good and safe and comfortable, but you're also giving to a population that maybe they're a little apprehensive about taking something from someone else. This is a way to do it. You can put warm clothes in here. We're heading into the winter months. You can put food, non-perishable food items. If you were to say one thing about what you love most about Reno, Grant, what would you say?
Well, you give Reno a platform to do good stuff, and Reno will take it. And it's not just the Karma Bucks project. There's so many projects out there that are like running because you gave Reno a platform to do it. I don't know if you could do this in any other community. You give them a platform to do stuff, and Reno will run with it.
If you want to find out more about the Karma Box, you can follow them on social media. They got a map on there so you know exactly where all the Karma Boxes are located. You're in Reno, you're in Sparks, you're in Carson City. They're even moving down south, so if you're vacating in Vegas, you can drop off goodies as well. It's just a really tremendous opportunity to show your love for those that may not feel as though they deserve it.
We all deserve it.
Hey, this is Grant Denton. He puts the love in Love Reno. Thanks, brother.
Right on.
Aspen Leaf Interiors is a full-service interior design firm specializing in residential new construction, full remodel, and furnishings. Aspen Leaf Interiors transforms spaces into tailored settings where people feel inspired and engaged with their surroundings. Award-winning designs, proven knowledge of the building process, and the utmost professionalism. Aspen Leaf Interiors, designing environments that make people want to stay.
I'm Henry Sotelo. I came to Reno to attend UNR and fell in love with Northern Nevada. I practiced criminal law for over 25 years as a prosecutor and now as a specialty court attorney. Reno Municipal Court has embraced the therapeutic court model in order to address criminal behavior linked to substance abuse. These specialty courts save money, rehabilitate offenders, and reduce criminal behavior. No one in Reno Municipal Court has more experience in specialty court representation than I do. If you find yourself in trouble with the court, I can help.
Enjoy an elegant lunch, dinner, wine, and craft cocktails at the Wild River Grill, located in the historic Riverside Hotel in downtown Reno on the Truckee River's scenic Riverwalk. Exuding nostalgic charm from the roaring 20s, the Wild River Grill welcomes guests from around the world, delighting patrons of the arts as the Pioneer Center beckons from just across the street. Treat yourself and those you love to Reno's finest. It's the Wild River Grill. Reservations at wildrivergrill.com.
Another Foodie Philosophy. This is unlike anything we've ever done. This is Walter with Smiling with Hope Pizza. You won't believe it. It's been called the best pizza in the nation, rated that, but he does so much more. Walter, welcome to Love Reno.
Oh man, thank you. I do love Reno. Reno's been beautiful to us. It's like another wonderful adventure in our travels, you know?
Well, and we love you. I don't know anybody who doesn't love pizza, and I feel like your pizza is made with love.
It is.
Real, true love.
Generations. My mother's from Italy, and you know, it's just generations of, and I grew up 15 minutes from Manhattan, so it was religion, kind of like your Sierras here, you know?
Now, Walter's a real stickler on the masks, so we're gonna wear them for the whole interview. If I sound muffled, I'm not muffled, it's my mask.
It's that he ate a bunch of pizza beforehand is really what
It's the dough. Speaking of the dough, okay, first we're gonna talk about the pizza, then the special cause that you represent here.
Okay.
Tell us about the dough and then get into the sauce. What makes it the best in the country?
I grew up eating the best pizza in the world, and I learned from some really great people, and I just took it all in, and I put every best pizza I ever had in my life into this.
Now let's talk about this, because you bring smiles through hope. Now talk about the hope and the people that you're helping and the wonderful cause that people like to support here and buying your pizza.
Okay, our mission, our number one mission is to hire people with cognitive disabilities who, through no fault of their own, will never get a job in our capitalist competitive world. And that's our mission. And that's why we make the best food with the best service, because people will come back. And when they hear they're helping these people by just buying pizza, they go, man, that's easy, you know?
This is a personal story for you. You worked as an educator, you worked in special education, and it's really something that you witnessed being a teacher.
Yes.
You recognized that this was a population that was literally being ignored, and you wanted to provide an opportunity for them to have a life.
Exactly.
I can't wait to taste it. Now, I wish we had a longer time for this segment, but it's so amazing, and the plot thickens like a good crust. In that he is a world-class musician also. He's played with some of the best in the world. And when the pizza's cooking, Walter's gonna play for us.
That's right, Walter and Pizza for Us coming up.
Well, you gotta live. Where will it be? You can go from coast to coast, yeah. I've seen everything. But I'll tell you all. I love living in Reno, Nevada. It's got it all. It's got mighty fine people. They'll stand up tall. They love their children and they're not afraid to fall. Yeah, I love it here, baby. Doing smiling with hope. I've been around the world. This is the best place I've known.
So Walter says the way to eat it New York style is you fold it like this, not with a knife and fork. Although he said you won't get your ass kicked in New York if you do. How is it, Connie?
It's the crust. I'm telling you right now. Or do you think it's the sauce?
It's the sauce.
I don't know. I think it's the crust.
It's the sauce. Oh my
Crust.
God.
You know what it is? To me, it's all come together. They all work together. That's what it should be.
I'm not supposed to talk with food in my mouth, but I can't stop eating and I can't stop talking.
I'm smiling because I hope we have more pizza.
Yeah, you got that.
Aspen Leaf Interiors is a full-service interior design firm specializing in residential new construction, full remodel, and furnishings. Aspen Leaf Interiors transforms spaces into tailored settings where people feel inspired and engaged with their surroundings. Award-winning designs, proven knowledge of the building process, and the utmost professionalism. Aspen Leaf Interiors, designing environments that make people want to stay.
I'm Henry Sotelo. I came to Reno to attend UNR and fell in love with Northern Nevada. I practiced criminal law for over 25 years as a prosecutor and now as a specialty court attorney. Reno Municipal Court has embraced the therapeutic court model in order to address criminal behavior linked to substance abuse. These specialty courts save money, rehabilitate offenders, and reduce criminal behavior. No one in Reno Municipal Court has more experience in specialty court representation than I do. If you find yourself in trouble with the court, I can help.
Enjoy an elegant lunch, dinner, wine, and craft cocktails at the Wild River Grill, located in the historic Riverside Hotel in downtown Reno on the Truckee River's scenic Riverwalk. Exuding nostalgic charm from the roaring 20s, the Wild River Grill welcomes guests from around the world, delighting patrons of the arts as the Pioneer Center beckons from just across the street. Treat yourself and those you love to Reno's finest. It's the Wild River Grill. Reservations at wildrivergrill.com.
We are so excited to present this week's local artist, Asphalt Socialites, with frontman, rock star, Robb Russo.
You have got to tell us about the name. I love the title of the band. Where did that come from?
Thank you. Yeah, that was Ken's idea, as a matter of fact, and he wanted it to be sort of jet set and working class at the same time. What better embodies that than Asphalt Socialites? It came from what we did after we played. We'd go to a break, we'd go out in the asphalt, and we'd socialize. So it's part of who we are, what we do, and what goes on when we're here. So
Hey, that's what rock stars do, right? You get out there and you mingle a little bit.
a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, he just did it. He's got the best De Niro face. So look in the camera and do that.
You talking to me? A little bit.
Now tell them about the video we're about to see, and then we're going to check it out.
A little bit. You know what we got? We've got a video. It's unstoppable. It's all about us rocking and saying, hey, you know, nothing can't be done. You know what I mean? We're there. Our little dog, Aqua Boy, Ken's dog, is the one that's featured in the video. And you got to stick around and see how it ends, because it's pretty funny at the end.
Well, let's see how it ends. Ladies and gentlemen, Asphalt Socialites.
We're here to talk to some very important people. We're out on the streets of Reno. What do you have to say about the Riverwalk?
What do you love about Reno? That's the name of the show.
So I
Just love Reno.
Yeah, I come from Indiana, and it tends to be a little bit flatter than it is here. So,
You mean geographically or the people?
Yeah, I guess geographically.
Do you know what casino was imploded in the late 90s here?
Ooh, how would he know that?
Mapes. Say the Mapes.
Say it.
Something makes me think the Mapes.
Yeah, it might be the
Hey,
Mapes. I
he's
think
good.
You are on fire
Do you know the name
today.
of our mayor in Reno?
I don't.
Ooh.
How am I doing?
Wait a minute. Do you know if she's a male or she's a female?
Come on now.
I'm gonna guess that she's a female.
She is!
Yeah.
Very good.
Her name is Heidi. I mean Hillary.
Hillary.
Her
Hillary
name,
Schieve.
her name is Hillary Schieve, and she's fantastic.
Aspen Leaf Interiors is a full-service interior design firm specializing in residential new construction, full remodel, and furnishings. Aspen Leaf Interiors transforms spaces into tailored settings where people feel inspired and engaged with their surroundings. Award-winning designs, proven knowledge of the building process, and the utmost professionalism. Aspen Leaf Interiors, designing environments that make people want to stay.
I'm Henry Sotelo. I came to Reno to attend UNR and fell in love with Northern Nevada. I practiced criminal law for over 25 years as a prosecutor and now as a specialty court attorney. Reno Municipal Court has embraced the therapeutic court model in order to address criminal behavior linked to substance abuse. These specialty courts save money, rehabilitate offenders, and reduce criminal behavior. No one in Reno Municipal Court has more experience in specialty court representation than I do. If you find yourself in trouble with the court, I can help.
Enjoy an elegant lunch, dinner, wine, and craft cocktails at the Wild River Grill, located in the historic Riverside Hotel in downtown Reno on the Truckee River's scenic Riverwalk. Exuding nostalgic charm from the roaring 20s, the Wild River Grill welcomes guests from around the world, delighting patrons of the arts as the Pioneer Center beckons from just across the street. Treat yourself and those you love to Reno's finest. It's the Wild River Grill. Reservations at wildrivergrill.com.
We could not do a Drinks with Friends Love Reno episode without the mayor. We have to have Mayor Hillary
Madam
Schieve join
Mayor,
us.
welcome.
We put her to work on the brew bike. Mayor Schieve, I know, you're so tiny. She's so cute. She's trying to pedal.
We'll pedal for you.
We'll do it. Okay. You know, the show is all about the love of Reno, and we want to highlight all the amazing things. First of all, we adore you because your love for Reno is like no other. When you decided I wanted to be mayor, you've talked a lot about this. It's because you saw that you wanted to make improvements to this town. You love this place. What has been one of the greatest accomplishments, and what are the things that you love the most about being the mayor?
I probably shouldn't tell anyone this, but I'm going to tell you guys. You know me, I always say, like, okay, I said it in my out loud voice, right? But growing up here, people would say, oh, where are you from? And I would say Lake Tahoe, right?
You were embarrassed?
Yes.
Yeah,
And so, quite honestly, that was one of the things, like, whenever I became mayor and started to get really involved in, you know, our community, I was like, I just want to change so much of, like, sort of the image that I think people sort of associated with Reno. And now I think we're finally using all those attributes that are around us to our advantage, right? Yeah. And that's like, you know, Burning Man and the university, like pulling them in. Like, we used to keep them so separated, and, you know, really embracing the arts. I mean, to have Burning Man in your backyard and not be able to utilize the talent.
I'm so glad to hear you say that, and thank you for your honesty. I've lived here for 22 years, and for many of those years, people would say, you live in Reno, why do you live in Reno? The reason we did this show was the anti-Reno 911 thing, because it's amazing here. And I want to hear you expand on what you've seen develop, how it's changed that people out there have no idea.
Yeah. You know what's interesting, because you mentioned, you know, Reno 911, but it's kind of, you know, everything sort of comes back, right? Now it's become this cult classic. Yeah. And, you know, I even, like, sometimes will tweet at some of the characters and they'll tweet back at me. And so it's really kind of fun. So, like, you know, all the younger generation is like, yes, Reno. So, like, in a way, it actually is sort of done the opposite, right? But I think, you know, when you said, a lot of people say, why Reno? I think for a long time we've been sort of America's best kept secret.
I agree.
In a lot of ways, but now it's kind of out. If you know, now that you're hearing about it, I was just on a nationwide Zoom with mayors, and they were talking about, oh my gosh, Reno is like this new sort of Austin, Texas, right? So it's interesting to see the perception, see the different perception now nationally, right?
Well, and I think that you're also experiencing where a lot of people are turning to us and saying, how are they handling things like their homeless issues? How are they working to provide affordable housing? How are they driving jobs? Like, I think we're not the only city that is facing these similar problems. So we're working together is very important. And I think that's one of the things I've always loved about Reno, is that there is this passion amongst all of us to make the city better and to keep it the biggest little city. And I tell friends, you know, originally from Seattle, and I was the same thing. I moved here 23 years ago. I love that you mentioned Burning Man. I started going to Burning Man that first year that I came here. I went for 7 years, and I would come back and people would say, I can't believe Burning Man's right down the road, but you see nothing. Nothing. There was no remnants that there was even an art festival.
It existed.
And now we are starting to see that. You drive down 4th Street,
It's
you
the
see
spillover.
the artwork that is created. And it's also giving artists, which we also feature on this show, an opportunity to come here and make a living. We want to keep the talent in our community. We don't want them to become this musician that's like, well, I can't be successful here, I gotta leave. Right. We want them to know that this is a place that they can nurture their career and have an audience that supports them, because I also believe our community supports the greatness that's coming out of here. We want to support our local community.
Absolutely. And I think art is such an economic driver.
Yes.
And people don't really realize that, but it plays a big part in economic development, but it also plays a big part of the city's soul. And to your point, it's so nice to see artists be able to create in the hometown that they live in, which is very rare. So if you're not continuing to foster that, then they do leave. And it's the same with the university, continuing to foster, you know, these kids that get out of the university avoid the brain drain, right? So that's why innovation and workforce development is really, really important, and also diversifying all sectors. Like, Reno used to be predominantly gaming, right?
Sure.
But that was one thing, whenever I got into office, I was like, we've got to diversify, much like you would a portfolio, right? So that's why arts, innovation, food culture, you know, tech, just all these different ways in which we can expand upon the talent of a city.
I wish we had all day. Unfortunately, we don't.
Okay.
It's not a political show, but are you running again?
Yes, I'm running one more term, and I have a lot of big initiatives ahead of me. Two of my biggest, and Connie, you know this because we work so hard on this right now, but is mental health. I'm working really hard on a mental health initiative. It's a 24/7 place where people that are struggling with mental health and also addiction can go, and so that we stop treating mental health in our jails and in our ERs. We've got to treat, you know, in a different capacity, right? Right, exactly, without stigma. But people keep thinking that if you put a roof over someone's head, that all of those issues go away, and we have to get to the root of the problem. So that's one thing. Mental health and addiction for me is going to be huge. And then the other one is actually our river. It is one of the most incredible assets, our drinking water, and we really have to preserve it and take care of it and make it a great place for residents and tourists to be able to recreate and enjoy. So for me, the river is going to be a massive initiative, and I got to tell you, I'm very disappointed. I was very disappointed to find out that the river has been really an afterthought. There's been no funding that has come into that river. So I'm going to focus on those two things, and also, you know, to really get our downtown vibrant and make it a great place for our tourists and our and you know, our community, because I believe downtowns are like cities inside cities. They're a whole different dynamic, right?
You want to have a downtown that is welcoming and enticing. If you look at any major metropolis that you go to, you visit New York City, you go to downtown. You visit LA, you go to the downtown. You go to Santa Cruz, you're on the boardwalk, you're in this incredible environment, and it's time for us to create that, and we're getting there. We've got this incredible climbing wall that's world renowned.
The world famous climbing wall right here in downtown Reno.
And we're gonna climb that in the next show.
Yes.
All right, we gotta cut it off here. Reno certainly loves our Mayor Hillary Schieve.
You're very sweet. That's not what my email says, but
No,
thank you.
no, ignore the email, unless they're from Love Reno.
We love Reno. Cheers to the mayor. Hey, come on, gang. All right, even though it's the Reno Brew Bike, we're not allowed to drink on the vehicle. I'm going to talk to the mayor about that. But in the meantime, we're here. We're going to go into the tap house for a brew, relax, and then get back on the bike. Hey, thanks so much for watching. That's our show.
It's a wrap. Love Reno. If you want to keep following along for the adventures, make sure to follow us on social media. Just search for Love Reno, or watch the episode again on YouTube. Just search Love Reno, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week. Thanks so much.
Bye.
A very special Love Reno thank you to our sponsors, the Economic Development Authority of Western Nevada.